running at you. Like, if you popped him in the fucking leg, he wouldn't be running much longer. Yeah, he could, like, aim the gun at you and start firing, but it just, to me, in my opinion, it just gives them both 50-50 chances, especially with women as well these days. Like, you get drunken men that like to burst through the door and take advantage. Now, if she's holding a fucking Magnum as that door comes through, he ain't gonna be doing much more because his life is now in the hands of a fucking trigger. So, you know, I just find that I agree with the gun.
I agree with you, you're right. Yeah, I agree with it, but I just think it's trash, the fact that you sell it to the public and then now you want it back. Now in America, there's a little community going around where they collect guns and recycle them.
Yeah. But,
and the American police are complaining how everybody has all these guns and shit, they don't feel safe, that's why they got to start shooting black people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that whole Black Lives Matter is a very, like, tender issue because it is fucking wrong.
That's because they think all these guns belong to black people. Little do they know everybody owns one.
The only difference is, in England, compared to places like America, we don't have white supremacy. Like, over here, you don't have white supremacists. Like, you might do. There might be a little community out there. But I guarantee if they were noticed, they wouldn't last long. Because no one... Racial tolerance over here is nil.
That's what I mean about England. Look. The best thing about England is that you guys don't judge each other because there's already so much multiculturalism in your country.
Oh yeah, we've had half of Poland, half of Russia.
Because the richest man in your country is Indian.
Yeah, he's probably the guy that owns the Man United football ground.
Yeah, because the richest man in England is Indian, the richest man in London, Indian, the richest man in Switzerland, Indian. That's why there's so much multiculturalism, you know what I'm saying? But these Indian people, they've been inviting the whole fucking United Nations, including every... Like, give me a second, I'm gonna put a message.
How have we gone from guns to Indians?
I have no idea, but... I want Austin to, like, fire some opinions in, or, like, I want to hear. Or Scotty, anyone.
Wait, these Indian people, man, you ever been to an Indian house?
I actually personally haven't. No, I haven't been.
These motherfuckers will give you a whole week of food in one day.
Yeah. I just think it gives people that sense of security, like, for example, with my point. Like, if you are a really, really slim, slender dude that's, you know, good at fighting nonetheless, like...
Alright, can I tell you something? How about instead of guns, we use something that's called fists? There are some skinny people out there that are stronger than big people. You might forget that.
Not disputing that, but what I mean is, when someone goes into blind rage, weight comparison does more damage than you can imagine, because you could probably body someone at 18 stone without punching them. But that 10 stone dude comes
you compare a 300 kilogram guy to 100, let's just say 80 or 100, okay? I agree, the 300 guy will just eat up the 100 guy, but think about it as the perspective of, like, not weight, but mentally. If the smart guy, because the big guy will probably be dumb enough to go punch the guy, right? But the smart guy will wait for the right opportunity to run or make his flee, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That don't mean you put guns in their hands and let them kill each other. That makes it not equal. That makes them both dumb because they're both going to kill each other.
The thing is, that's the thing. They're not gonna, like, even if they both have a gun, they're not gonna aim to kill. One of them's gonna aim to disable. So, for example, like, if they were holding a gun at each other, and the one of them made a sudden move, the one's just gonna drop the pistol and shoot the kneecap, let's, for example, and, like, yeah, that's gonna, like, immobilize him quite critically. But then that doesn't mean he did it to hurt him, it just might mean that he did it to get away in time, because this dude, you know, could have very well hunted him down for God knows how long, you know, because everyone just assumes if you're big, you're slow, and it's very not true.
Can you hold it for a second? 1 second. Can you hold it for 1 second? You see the other motherfucker that was being cocky? Can't talk now, you little dog. Right,
see, my argument for the whole gun thing is there are 3 countries that I'm going to talk about in my kind of argument. So Australia had guns until a massacre happened and government got rid of guns, and then all of Australia was like, yeah, that's fair enough. UK, we had 2 massacres. No, listen. Right, listen. Then UK, we had two like 2 massacres, and the restrictions got massively tightened. So you can only get a gun if you're a member of a gun club or you live on a farm and you actually need it for, obviously,
work purposes.
Whereas if you go to America, all the massacres they've had, yeah, the government literally went, there's just hardly the time, or we'll just get rid of automatic weapons, and all of America just went, fuck you, don't take our guns. And then we've got the people who really don't like ISIS, which, fair point, they're horrible people. But there was a guy in America that put Christian symbols on an AR-15. Surely, if you think about that logically, ISIS have hijacked a religion to kill people. So he's thinking, if we put Christian symbols on an AR-15, it's okay to fight a... He's like oh, I know how we can stop people hijacking religion to kill people, by hijacking the religion to kill people.
Yeah,
where's the absolute logic?
Point. This man has some good brains. Give him an award. Everybody, donate him $100.
I've done this argument too many times.
Now, that is what I call a topic, man. That man just brought up the truth in a second piece time.
And then the other,
I agree with you. Yes. Why is it that those people that are already killing people for their purposes are called ISIS, but while the other people that are killing other people just because they have a Christian logo on them, they're allowed to kill people legally. Now, that is a good topic. I don't even know. I can't answer that.
And then also, a similar country to the UK that's also got really tight gun restrictions is Canada. In Canada, you can have guns, but you've got really tight restrictions like us. So you can get shotguns and sniper rifles if you're a gun club.
Let's just talk about California.
It's just...
You're allowed to smoke all the weed you like in the world. You're allowed to get guns. You're allowed to do whatever you like in California. Now, in Las Vegas, though, it's a different story. Even though it's a sin city. Can you answer me, like, what's the difference between those two? California and Las Vegas.
I have no idea. I don't know that much about them two states.
Okay. Prostitution. Where do you reckon most of the prostitution happens at Las Vegas or California?
I'm gonna say Las Vegas because it's the big fucking.
That's what they want us to think. That's what they want us to think. But that's not true. There's more strip clubs here and more prostitutes in California than Las Vegas. Because Las Vegas is based on casinos.
The other story with guns that I still don't understand in the US is at 18 you can't drink alcohol, but you can own a gun.
Yeah, it's the same logic.
You can't drink alcohol, and
so they're basically saying that alcohol is more dangerous than a gun, which technically it can be true depending on what you're doing when you're drunk, but still a gun is more dangerous than a pint of beer.
I'm drinking alcohol with you. I got angry at you. I smashed the bottle, cut your throat. Do you consider that dangerous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, on the other hand, a gun. You're not drunk. You're not on drugs. You're just yourself. If you want to shoot him, you're going to intentionally shoot him, right? Well, if you go to court and say, "Oh, I wanted to shoot him," they will jail you. But if you were drunk and you were not yourself, they can't put anything on you because you weren't yourself.
Yeah, but there's a lot more to it, right? Because you've got 90% of America who carry weapons around that are actually legal, and the ones that are actually shooting each other and the ones that are actually causing that much criminal atmosphere are the ones that are buying illegal guns. They're stealing them off other people. They're carving their serial numbers off the side of them, and they are using them as murderous weapons. But so long as they've got the serial number and they're holstered and you have a license for them, it's just as well as having a car. Just as long as you've got all the right documentation, you're happy to do whatever you want with it. But you'll find that 90% of those people don't actually ever use the gun in their entire life. They just have it with them just in case. But then you'll find the other half, or the other 10%, they're the ones carrying around illegal firearms so that they can get away with crimes they wish to commit because they are
Somebody give this man a trophy!
When our laws in the UK got tightened over guns, the more homicides kind of went down. because we've had
Somebody give these two a trophy, man.
over a couple of years or so, the homicides have gone down. But compared to the US, there's like 27 or something. No, the UK's got 27 homicides in the last 5 years or something, and then it goes up in America. It's like over 5,000.
Alright, the guy that was being cocky to me, fuck you, asshole. Say shit now, dog.
Yeah, that was me.
Now you guys are speaking.
That was me, but yeah, right.
Oh shit. Well, fuck you anyways, but either way. We're friends. Either way.
The other argument I try and explain, when Americans go,
Bro,
if you had right. When Americans go over to us when we have like some kind of terrorist attack or something, they're like, if you had a gun, you would have felt safe. No, if we had guns, like handguns in the UK, we'd use them. If you held the door for someone and then no, Chew, listen. In the UK, we'd end up using the handgun. If someone held the door, if you held the door open for someone and they didn't say thank you, be like, you shoot them in the fucking head. Someone would probably get that far.
Yeah, but
that's why we don't have guns.
Test. Yeah, but when you buy a gun in America, it's not as simple as walking in and buying it like it's GTA. They've got to go through they've got to go through all these fucking paperwork. They've got to go through background checks that can last over 7 to 14 days, and then they have to send off all their ID, make a complete application, and then when it comes back saying they were confirmed legally, then they can go back to the gun store, show them the confirmation, and then they can legally purchase.
Right, another thing. When you go into like a shop like Asda or something, you don't just walk around and go, yep, milk, bread, AR-15. It's America for you.
Sold in supermarkets.
They are.
They're sold in you can probably find them in weird gun stores.
No,
but, it's not like an Asda or
Walmart.
Anything,
Walmart, yeah. You can buy a shotgun or a rifle in there. They have guns in there you can buy.
Yeah, but there's got to be that, cause.
Yeah, you got a point.
What I'm saying is that no matter what happens when you're buying a gun, there'll always be a psychoanalysis test confirming whether your state of mind and actual function of cognitive behaviour will allow you to walk. It's like you just said now, if someone held the door open and didn't say thank you, you'd shoot them. And now that'd be the type of guy that would never get his hands on a gun, because that's the type of guy that's impulsive. But then you get the ones that literally, they just have it next to their hip, because let's say, for example, you're in a supermarket, someone fires a shot, you run. As you're running, you leave the supermarket, you run into someone outside who's part of the operation. He's got a gun, the only thing you've got to do is shoot him because you're under a threat. There's a whole attack going on, and that's the only time that guy will use that, and he'll never aim to kill.
Oh, no, they still get jail time though.
Yeah, if they can't warrant the use of their gun.
Yeah, but you get less jail time, that's all that matters.
Yeah, there's always jail time, because at the end of the day, they have to make sure that anyone that fired a shot is correctional back out on the streets, because they can't just be like, right, I get it, he went to attack you, we seen it on camera, you shot him in the leg, and you ran away. That's still classed as fucking, that still needs to make sense, they can't just have that same guy have his gun back and go walk the streets, because, some people they just need correctional time away from that situation and other people to learn from that mistake, because prison isn't always about serving a sentence. It's more about learning and keeping you on a straight and narrow to correct it, to get you into a corrected scenario where you can go back out onto the streets and become more civil. It's just yeah, definitely, because I know there's some fucking prisons that turn even the fucking kindest of men into criminals just because of the way they have to be. Yeah, but it depends what, because in Canada as well, fucking, when you say jail, that could just, for example, in England, we have what we call a custody correctional facility, which means if, say me and you, Austin, got into a fight on the street, they arrested both of us, we would then go to custody, and they can hold you up to 48 hours. And basically, what it means, if you get sentenced, you go from you go from the custody straight into jail. But if you go from custody without a charge, you go back out on the streets. So there's a middle ground between actually going to jail and, you know, because like if someone says, oh well, he did this to me, they could hold you for 48 hours just to find out if you did, just so you don't go nowhere. Yeah, well, that's what it's. I think I know what you're on about. I think you're on about remanding, and what that means is, if your crime is really horrible, they won't put you in a custody until they can find out what happened. They will remand you straight into the proper jail, and you will wait in that jail until they have got every scrap of evidence or every piece they can conclude. If they can't find nothing, they let you out of jail, which they don't compensate you for because they were doing an investigation. But like, if you do a minor crime, like if you know walked into a shop, stole a Mars bar or something, fucking the police nick you for it. They'll have you in a fucking custody, holding you in a small cell on your own until they're ready to speak to you. And when they are ready to speak to you, they'll just keep walking you back and forth to the police station with no shoes and on into interview rooms, and then they send you back to your cell and that. And then when they finally realise they can't scrape enough evidence in the time they were given, they let you out on bail, and bail means that you're still under arrest. It just means that they couldn't physically hold you any longer. But then when they do find that one piece of evidence, they just come and arrest you straight away, send you straight back into the custody. And if custody goes wrong, where they find that they can charge you, they can have you in court the next morning, which will send you directly to jail for your sentence. Oh yeah. Yeah, listen to this, right, Austin. In the Netherlands, Holland, or Amsterdam, whatever you want to call it, you can be collected off the streets and held in custody for 2 weeks without even anyone's notice. So yeah, if you walk down the street of Holland and you decide to get into any trouble, the police can literally pick you up, put you in a cell for 2 weeks, give you no fucking rights. They're just holding you there as a detention period for correctional reasons, and they'll let you out after 2 weeks, and they won't even fucking take it any further, like, unless it was a severe crime. But if it was just something that they, like, even if it was just as small as snicking a candy bar, like, fucking, they will hold you for 2 weeks and then let you out because you've served a sentence, which is correctional to them. But if it's like a massive crime, you'll go down for a lot longer. But they can fucking pull you in off the street and you couldn't tell no one for 2 weeks where you were, and that's their right. It's crazy because you think that there was human rights involved, but their human rights stick to the value if they get fed, clothed, washed. They've got everything a human would need. The fact is, the only thing they don't have is their freedom, and that's because they broke the law, and the law states you break the law, you can be held for 2 weeks. I'm not saying that you could do the smallest of crime and automatically do 2 weeks, but if you went into the town square, for example, and you had a fight with somebody, and the police said, look, get out of the town, don't want to see you here again. If you then venture back into the town, they'd be like, right, we've warned you once, we won't warn you again. If I see you anymore tonight, you're going to be arrested. And I think it leads up to the whole, if they have to arrest you, they will fucking screw you because of the fact how much time you're wasting with them. So they'll think, well, fuck it, will you do it again if you have to spend another 2 weeks down here? Nah. That's why their crime rate is so low. Like, you will barely find any crime in Holland. The only time someone gets murdered in Holland is when someone accidentally gets hit by a bike, or when someone like accidentally fucking falls off one of the fucking paths or something, like, because there's no crime rate down there. That's why they've got recreational use of cannabis, prostitutes. They've got a gun law over there, which means everyone can carry a gun, but no fucker does. because no one needs to, because the law is that strict over there. I mean, even the casual fucking police officers carry a beanbag shotgun. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Who's playing music?
He stood in the middle of this.
Always thinking we could play something.
That video went up by another 100, Caitlin. I just checked, it was on... Hold on, let me check again, because you know me.